Hello, my name is Dr. Chrissy Cross, and I'm going to be your professor for this course. Before we get started, I wanted to talk to you guys for just a few minutes about the concept behind this course. I know that if you are taking this course, most likely you are interested in some type of education as far as online learning and how to incorporate online learning into education. Whether it's education on a P through 16 scale or through like a business or a museum or even a city or a corporate entity. So we're going to talk about some of the basic ideas behind what makes good curriculum. Normally, in a graduate setting, you would have a whole course on curriculum development and curriculum theory in education. For the purposes of this course, we simply don't have the time to do that, so I'm going to give you some curriculum theory in a nutshell. The reason that I'm doing this is because many of your assignments in this course are made to produce a certain outcome in you, within you. And this is not the type of course that just that happens in. It's difficult to create assignments that take someone from point A to point B in a natural manner, and sometimes in a kind of unnatural manner, because people are not always ready for that. The first thing I want you guys to look at is this right here. This is some different types of learning. Most of you guys probably can identify a teacher in your experiences that was someone who loved to lecture, somebody who enjoyed getting up in front of the class, making sure that all of the attention was on them and they told you exactly what you needed to know. And you were not allowed to question that or have any input on that. And you certainly weren't allowed to add or subtract from the content that they were communicating. That is what we call transmission teaching. If you'll look right here on this graphic, you will see the word transmission, and underneath it, it says learning is content. The role of the learner is to receive, to process, and to integrate, and the role of the teacher is to do the telling or the explaining of the content. Now, let me just tell you, as a curriculum researcher, as an educator, transmission does not work. Let me repeat, transmission does not work. So you cannot come into this course or any other course that I'm teaching and expect that type of learning from me because I don't teach like that. Research indicates that transmission teaching does not allow the student to really get into the content, make meaning of the content, and apply that content to real life. All it does is require the student to memorize or repeat a skill. So that's not what this course is. This is a graduate course. In graduate courses, it is my job to make sure you are the one doing the work. You are the one making your own content that fits into the parameters of the course and meets the course objectives. Let's look at the second thing on this little chart here. It's called transactional. This says learning is constructed. Students experience, explore, collaborate, problem solve, and create. And the teacher's job is to facilitate this. Notice it is not the teacher's job to explain this to you. You as the student are the one who's experiencing. You're creating, you're solving problems yourself. This is a technique that you will often see in these graduate level courses because I need you to learn a skill. If you are going to learn a skill, that means you have to do it. So I'm not going to give you a 5-page explanation about how to create an infographic or a web page. What I'm going to do is say, create an infographic, and you have to figure out how to do that through trial and error, critical thinking, and problem solving. When you tap into that part of your brain, that is when you really start to learn. So during this course, you can expect me or the course to give you a step-by-step procedure, because you, in an environment where you're creating educational technology, have got to be the one that takes your resources, whatever they may be in your situation, looks at the product you need to create and the goals that you need to have, and you have to make decisions about what the best procedure is, what skill is the best to use, and what method you need to go through to match what is needed by that group that you're designing the technology for. You can't do that if I give you a step-by-step. You have to actually do the thing before you can move into an organization and actually complete that activity. So let's look at the last one, transformative. Transformative learning is experience plus reflection. If you will notice, in most of our activities in these courses, they will always require you to think and reflect and tell me what you're thinking, what you're reflecting on. How was this process that you went through for you? Reflective process is a huge part of graduate learning. You will not find this course to be like a book where you open, you read, and then you reflect. No, you are going to be doing. You're going to be creating content. I'm not going to be giving you that content. You're going to be creating that and reflecting on your process of creating that content. Learners in transformative learning, they are required to engage with their previous ideas and their previous experiences and biases and somehow transform them through the activity and through their knowledge gathering. When I ask you to research something, when I ask you to create something, you're saying, okay, here are my skills, here's what I bring to the table, this is what I'm asked to do, and this is my product that I'm creating. Transformative learning actually places value on the learner. I don't believe that any of my students are coming into this class with nothing to give. In fact, I value what you can bring to this course, and I value what you give. That is why this experience in this class must be a transformative learning experience. So don't expect this class to be a class where you can just get in and click, click, click through the pages, learn everything you need, take a quiz, and be done. That is not what this class is. This class is going to require you to get out of your comfort zone, to reflect on how you have experienced things, do research, and create innovative learning experiences based on what you bring to the table. So I just wanted to make that kind of clear before we really got into the meat of this course. During this course, I'm going to require you to look at this graphic right here. It's called Bloom's Digital Taxonomy. The whole idea behind Bloom's Digital Taxonomy is that students can be asked to do very low-level things. Like, for example, if I asked you guys to choose the correct answer out of 4 answers in a quiz question, you wouldn't even need to know the right answer in order to pick. You could just guess and get it right. And what does that tell me? Actually, it tells me nothing. It only tells me that you happen to guess the right answer. Now, if you already know and got the right answer, there's no way I can tell if you guessed or if you actually know. So things like quizzes, multiple choice, they're very low level on the learning scale. In fact, animals, chimpanzees, can often do small tasks like remembering which cup a shell is under. That is a low-level Bloom's task. If you look on the graphic, there's some verbs that I want you to really key in on here. In the remembering section, if I ask you to define, if I ask you to highlight, if I ask you to locate information, that's easy to do. But it's not transformative. I'm not getting your perspective on things. I'm not understanding what you think about this kind of thing. If I'm asking you, if you'll look over here to the highest level of Bloom's, which is one of the highest levels of learning, you need to be asked to be doing these things in these classes. adapting, constructing, composing, designing, creating. So when I ask you to create an infographic or to design a website or an online learning experience, we are doing the top level of Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy shows us how we need to design our learning activities to get the results we want. I want you as students to leave this course understanding that you can create technology because you've done it. You can create positive learning experiences for students because you've done it. You can create transformative learning experiences because you've done it. This is not going to be a course where you just passively get content and memorize. This is a course where you're doing things, creating things, so that you can become an expert in educational technology. I hope this was helpful for you. Please continue in this module, and I hope that if you have any questions, feel free to contact me or email me through Brightspace, and I would be happy to discuss any of this with you.